Hello everybody, this is Cresso and I'm back for another interesting topic. The title of this clip, Seeing Life Through the Third Eye. Okay, I've created a clip. It's called The Yellow Brick Road of Ayahuasca. In that clip, I didn't really talk too much about the third eye, so I wanted to create a clip solely on the third eye, and I'm going to give you my breakdown, what the third eye is. And okay, so all right, for those that's listening, if you have never heard of the third eye or you want to know what it is, I will basically give you my breakdown. Okay, the third eye is basically, if you look it up, if you Google it, okay, the third eye is the pineal gland. Okay, that's the front part of the brain. Okay, so it's right in the center of your forehead. That's where the third eye is located. Okay, I've done research about it myself and I gathered some information, but I've learned that scientists don't really know entirely how the human brain works, even with all their lovely technology, but they don't really understand how the whole brain works. But anyway, they don't understand about how what the pineal gland is. It's been speculated, like it's been dismissed, or they haven't come to that conclusion. But anyway, so basically the third eye is, and now I'm gonna talk about from different points about the third eye. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the ayahuasca experience. Okay, and I'm going to talk about situations like, for example, stories like people have life after death, which I actually call it life after life. There's no death actually. Anyway, so I'm going to touch on the third eye on different points. Okay, so I'm going to start on the ayahuasca part. Now, when you take, if anybody's listening to this, if you take the ayahuasca experience, a lot of people call it DMT. Okay, DMT, it's in these plants. Okay, all right. Now, it's the same DMT that it's a chemical, or you can call it a property, but it's a chemical that's in your brain. Okay, so everybody naturally has DMT in their brain. Basically, the DMT, it's responsible for you having dreams while you're sleeping. Okay. I also, you produce a little bit more DMT around maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. By most people on a deep sleep at that time. Not everybody, but a good number of people. Okay. And I'm going to talk about other parts about the third eye. So for the ayahuasca, so when you take your ayahuasca, okay, when you take ayahuasca, let's say people call it DMT trip, okay, you're adding more DMT in your brain that your brain produces that every time. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my experience. Okay, when I've taken my I'm going to say DMT. Okay, when I've taken my DMT trip, okay, I seen stuff. I mean, it's a lot more clearer. Yes, it's similar to a dream state because it is. It's all in the same. It's all related in a big way. So, so when I've taken the DMT experience, I've started seeing different images. Images like shapes, different things that you don't really see with your 2 eye. And on my clip on ayahuasca, I did talk about that most of my experience has been, most of them has been channeling with other beings with different dimensions. Okay. Before I have the channel experience, okay, all that's part of the trip, the DMT trip. Okay. I start seeing different dimensions. Okay, I'm gonna basically explain to you the best I can. Okay, different examples. So one of my experience is like what, within maybe the first 10, after 20 minutes, when it starts to kick in, when the DMT from the plant added from the DMT from your brain, anyway, when it started like within 20 minutes or so, okay, I started seeing images. My eyes was closed now, and I want to mention that the room was dark. Okay, there was no, I wasn't outside, it wasn't daylight. Okay, so the room was dark. The bathroom light was lit, but I wasn't facing the bathroom. It was further away. Okay, so when my DMT trip starts to begin, okay, my eyes was closed. I started seeing images. When my eyes are closed. There was a moment that I started seeing daylight. I kid you not. It wasn't like daylight from the sun. It wasn't the type of daylight from like a lit room. It was different. It's a different type of light. It's kind of hard to explain. It was a mix. It was a mix that, and all this, my eyes was closed now, okay? It was partially dark and partially daylight. It was partially like light, okay? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I started seeing a room, okay? All that while my eyes are closed now, okay? It got to a point that I thought that my eyes was open, but again, my eyes was closed. So anyway, I saw this room. There was a room, and it had like a bush. Okay, it had a bush, and what's the type of I saw flowers. Okay, that's grown with the bush. It was very interesting. The bush that I started seeing, basically, it was it looked like one of those little colorful windmills that you find in the carnival. Have you ever been to the carnival and you get these little colorful windmills and stuff? So yeah, that's exactly what they look like, and it's interesting. It's like, wow, I was amazed what I'm seeing. It was just, I was just enjoying what I was seeing. Also, the color was like, it was like red, black. It was red, black, white, like different colors. And the room, this dimension, whatever dimension I was in, it had tiles, like floor tiles. And each tile has its own color. It lights up like a combination of different colors. It kind of reminds me of this toy, like Simon Says, like that how the lights, how they all simultaneously lit up in different ways. So yeah, it was something like that. And I kept staring at this bush with these colorful windmills, and I sensed from the bush and those flowers, that it was alive. It wasn't. I mean, of course, any flower is alive, But what I'm trying to say is that the flower, okay, it felt like it was talking to me. It gave a certain vibe to it. Okay. So anyway, when my emotion within myself changed, okay, I was thinking about something else. The color of the windmills changed. It changed color along with my thoughts. It was very fascinating. And the sound, like, it's like whatever I was hearing, like echoes and stuff. It was amazing. It was like, I really felt like I was somewhere else, even though my body was at the room. Now, I want to give a little description of my room. My room had carpet, okay? So the tiles There was no floor tiles. So I was in it like, I'm literally looking at a different place. I kid you not. All this is doing my closed eye. A lot of people call it closed eye visuals. So it's very common for a lot of people that's having DMT experience, they're having closed eyes visuals. And it's amazing. It's really amazing. And I want to give a couple of more examples. I'm doing the best I can to what I remember. I recorded some of my DMT experience, by the way. And everybody, what's interesting about my experience, okay? What's interesting is my background, okay? You see, for those following me on Twitter or any place on the web that knows me, okay? I am a multidimensional being, okay? I am reincarnated from a different humanoid race, okay? So seeing this is not like it's something it's not like it's something new. It is something I'm seeing, like something disinteresting like this for the first time in the human body. Excuse me. And it was a great experience. It was. After I started seeing these visuals and stuff like that, these closed eyes visuals, that's when the being that I'm about to channel with, that's when a being was starting to enter my body. And that's when I was starting to have my channel experience. So yeah, that's just one example. Another time now, when I have my experience, my DMT experience, okay, I had my eyes closed, and then I opened my eyes, okay, I was staring at the ceiling, while the DMT trip starts to kick in and everything, and I kind of feel the effect inside of me. I look at the ceiling. The ceiling was it had geometric shapes spinning around. It feels like the ceiling was like shifting different places, and I was just taking it in. I really enjoyed what I was seeing. It was just amazing. I felt something about the ceiling, that it was alive. I mean, first I said my other experience was a bush that's alive, but the ceiling, it was like, it felt like it was breathing. The way it moves and stuff, the way it moves. So I was like, I was saying to myself, wow, and it just kept spinning. It's like the way it rotates. I'm doing the best I can to describe it while I'm recording this. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously I know what the ceiling looks like outside before the experience, but just to see the ceiling move, I'm very open that the stuff that I see is not some illusion. This is something, and this is a thing that I feel like a lot of people and I'm gonna be very blunt here, so if you're offended, hey, I'm just gonna be very blunt here. You see, not all, but a lot of people are very closed-minded, okay? I learned through humanity that we rely so much what we see with the physical two eyes. You think that everything is just black and white, and everything is what you see. I mean, but I got to a point where I'm at now. And keep in mind, I took on that feeling too. I used to see things black and white. I used to see things black and white, and everything is just how it is, and that's it. Because I didn't know who I was at the moment. But now I'm at the point where I'm at now, is that there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you don't see that exist. Okay? There's a lot more to life. There is. A lot of us, we get caught up with things that don't really matter the most. Like you watch the news, right? You watch the news and you feel like that's just life. Okay? And I'm like, no, it's not. There's a lot more. There's a lot more going on all around you. Whether if you decide to be closed-minded, there's a lot of things going around you. You just decide to close yourself off for the moment. So to go on with my experience, so yeah, I just felt like, wow, it's just, I'm seeing all this stuff. It's just great. My other experience, this is another time now. Before I go on, when I was seeing the ceiling, like the ceiling was turning, and I was seeing geometric shapes turning around, like it's kind of like counterclockwise or something like that. That's when I, like maybe 10 minutes later, that's when I sensed, and I can say I felt that another being was going to channel with me. Again, all my DMT experience that I had so far, all of them, okay, just about all of them, I can tell you right now. I had closed eyes visuals, okay, and I've seen stuff with my eyes open too, okay, but I had closed eyes visuals. I've seen things, interesting things, even when I open my eyes, okay, and I have my channel experience, okay, with different beings, okay. So to go on, so my next experience, I remember I was at a couch, and I was just lying there relaxing, waiting for the DMT trip to begin. I was meditating, and I was looking at the couch. Now, keep in mind, everybody, when I take my experience, most of the time, the room is dark, okay? The room is, so I don't take it during the daytime. I think I did one time, but most of it is at nighttime, and the room is dark, except the bathroom is lit up in case I need to go, But yeah, the bathroom is further away. It's further away, so, but most of the room is dark. So yeah, so I was at the couch, and I started seeing things. That's when I started realizing the trip was starting, and I started seeing the couch. It had like bright lines, like the lines of the couch was lit up, and my eyes are open. Okay. This situation, I opened my eyes. It was lit up. I'm like, the couch, like the lines. It's like not the whole couch was lit up, but it looked like grids on the couch. And the other situation, and like the next moment, it looked like I was like seeing stars. I was like, I kid you not, I felt like I was seeing different stars. I felt like I was out of space a little bit. It was amazing. And when I looked at my arm, I was looking at my arms, okay, my arm. And I could see it closely. It didn't look like my arm. The flesh, my skin complexion. My skin complexion is like tan, okay, something like that, But when I look at my arm, it was like reddish. It looked like an arm from somebody else's arm. It just didn't look like my arm at all. I'm like, wow, it is amazing. It is definitely amazing. I feel like, when you take in these DMT experience, you're literally like, it's like you basically unplugging yourself from this life that you all know, and you're actually seeing things for what life really is. It is kind of like the Matrix. It is. So it's just amazing. I'm like, wow, I was just seeing, there's so much stuff go on. There's so many things. It's just amazing. I was looking around the room with my eyes are open, okay? And even the whole room, it looked like a blueprint. It's like I'm looking at, like the entire room looks like a grid lines. It reminds me of this movie, The 13th Floor. If you haven't seen this movie, The 13th Floor, check it out. There's a scene in that movie that it don't look exactly like that, like not so extreme like that, but the lines around the room was like lit up, not just the couch, but the room. It was just amazing. It was amazing. And I knew quickly that is how the room actually is. That is the actual image of the room. Not not before the DMT trip, not before the DMT experience, excuse me. And I see a lot of cool stuff. You know, I read up on the internet, people having DMT experience. Very similar. Some things are similar, some things are not. But yeah, it's really amazing. It's really amazing. It's just that, you know, and I could, you know what, I do understand. I mean, I understand why, excuse me, a lot of these governments don't like this idea of DMT experience. I mean, we created government. Government is not above us. But the thing is that you see, you know, all this stuff is like, it's all a game. It is. The government is truly like an Agent Smith, you know. You see, the reason why we put the government there, these agents there, it's just an experience, you know. So basically, because we put the government there, it's going to go by certain rules, okay? But because whether you agree or not, every single one of you are a game master, okay? You are a game master. You could break the rules, you could do whatever, okay? That's what we all are, okay? So when you go outside the grid, you see these Agent Smith, I'll call them, okay? I'm just having fun with this topic. They're gonna get nervous. They get nervous because you've seen things outside the grid. That's why a lot of stuff they talked about that it's illegal and all that stuff. I care less about that stuff is illegal. I honestly do, because I created the government. Okay, I created these Agent Smith. Okay, I created these laws. The same goes for every one of you. So I'm proudly to say this. So a lot of you are shaking up hearing what I'm saying because you're closed-minded. You're law-abiding citizens, and you know, you decided to be afraid. You know, but that's okay. You know, it's an experience. Life itself, overall, is an experience of everything. So yeah, I'm gonna touch on that, and I want to give you a further breakdown about the third eye. But you see, everybody, you see, my experience helped me. Or let's just put it this way, it helped me reconnect about what life really is. That's why the structures, these egotistic structures that we put together, you see, I could see past that, and that's the reason why these Agent Smith don't like it. Because you see, when you unplug yourself from the system, okay, when you say to yourself, you know what, I don't want to feel like playing this game. I want to shift somewhere else. The game itself that you get creating becomes jealous. It's just, you know, it doesn't want you to leave. You know, without the players, what's there for the game? The game doesn't, you know, there won't be a game without the players. So, but yeah, the thing is that I'm able to see past these structures. Okay, I can, and I made a decision. I simply made a decision. I've seen life, okay? I reconnected to see so much. And I'm just excited to share this to everybody. I am. And I think, I know, and this is not an opinion. You could take it, you could say what I'm saying is opinion or not. But I could tell you this straight up. Every single human being around this world needs to have a DMT experience. A lot of you need to wake up. All right, you need to really see what life really is. Okay, watching these celebrities, TV shows, and reality shows, and watching all those other stuff that seem to be a major distraction. That's not really life. I mean, that's just, you know, it's just some sort of illusion. It is a distraction. And I'm not going to say a lot of you are victims. You're not. It's a decision making. You decide to put yourself or get distracted by the very things that don't really matter. So, but yeah, everybody really needs to take. Maybe you need to go somewhere. Maybe go to the Amazon. Go to the Amazon, okay, and be open. wherever you go, meditate. I mean, I could say this, seeing things through the third eye, okay, again, I'm going to emphasize, it helped me. It's a guide. The third eye, it's you. That pineal gland, that's designed. Okay, we designed it. It's consciousness. It's part of consciousness. Okay, you are literally seeing life for what life really is, not by your two eyes. Okay, I'm able to see things even with my eyes are closed. Do you understand? You look at nighttime. You see night, it's actually daytime. Seriously. I've seen it myself. It's just amazing. It really is. And I'm not afraid. Maybe because of my background, maybe because I'm not of a human, I don't know, but I just think it's interesting for me, but I still want to share this with everybody, because I've seen other people have a phenomenal experience with seeing things through the third eye. It's just amazing. It's like life is infinite. I always say that on the web. Life is infinite. It really is. It's just a feeling. It just really takes you out there. When I was channeling with one of the beings basically was talking to me about my third eye, about the third eye. It was basically telling me, in my own words, that, when you see life is like an easy flow. It is. You could shift, you could change, you could flow here, you could flow there. It's just different. I was like, it was breaking it down to me about basically to only focus what you see on the third eye. Now, in the human body, I realized that it's designed that way for the third eye. Now, in my other life experience, I meditate, I travel to different dimensions, or I have out-of-body experience, but I don't ever remember having a third eye type of experience, or even say the word. Obviously the third eye is an English language, and there's other language that talks about the third eye, in different languages, but I'm just trying to compare. I'm comparing that I don't remember having a third eye experience. I believe the third eye is designed for the human body, but still in all, you can still see life for what life really is. So there's no being, no living being, whether you're physical or formless being, none are exempt to see life for what life really is. There's nothing exempt to see that. So yeah, when I was channeling with this being, it was basically telling me about basically to fine tune or to focus seeing things with my third eye. Even without the DMT experience, and it really helped. It is a great guide. I appreciate the channel experience I had with the beings, with these other multidimensional beings, and yeah, just seeing things with the third eye is just amazing. Wow, it's just I'm just doing my best to remember anything else that I want to share, but I just can't remember right now more. I'm just doing my best, but yeah. So yeah, that's the third eye on the ayahuasca part. You have to take an ayahuasca plant, but it contains DMT in those plants. Okay, again, the DMT, your brain produces DMT every single day. I don't know technicalities how often, but it's in your brain. All right, so this is not some crazy mixed up chemical drug from whatever. It's not. This is natural substance. Okay, all right. So I just want to say that it's an anti-drug. Okay, I say that in my ayahuasca club. You cannot get addicted to it. Okay, you don't. If you're a drug addict, let's just put it this way. If you're a drug addict, okay, you taking a DMT experience, or let's ayahuasca, okay, whatever. If you take that, that's gonna take care of that problem for you. You open up, you won't no longer be a drug addict. You just easily shift out of that paradigm. So yeah, all the drug rehab places will basically go out of business. So yeah, and quite frankly, I do like to see all these drug rehab places go out of business, because a lot of you don't really need to go to a drug rehab place. There's a lot of things that could equip you. There's things that's available for us because we're consciousness and we put it there. Yes, the drug rehab places are, we created it, you know, it's a suggested idea like anything else. But I feel that, and I visit these drug rehab places. I've never taken illegal drugs, excuse me, but I know what it looks like. I've seen it. I've been inside of it. I don't think I think that, then I'm just giving my own feeling about it. I really feel that if people put themselves to take ayahuasca, it will definitely, you just won't need to go to a drug rehab place. And for those that seeing a mental therapy for depression, that will take care of that too. Okay, I've gone through depression for over 20 years. Okay, and yeah, I don't go through depression. My mind will suggest things to me here and there to feel sad, but I'm not the same person as I was before. But yeah, the third eye, yeah, it's just amazing. I just, you know, anyone's listening to this clip, I want you to please visualize this with me. I'm doing my best to give you details on what I've seen, because see, I want everybody to experience what I experienced, because, you know, you're all consciousness, you know, that's, you know, you all deserve it. You know, life is infinite. You know, you gotta cut that story out about life is short and you're acting, or you're doing certain things based on fear and doing all these things and being so desperate. Life is not short. You can experience many things you want, and you know what? It will never end. Your life will never end. Whether you're in a human body, whatever form you decide to be in, you're gonna be around forever. Okay? See, your ego mind is gonna be shocked to hear that, but you're gonna be around forever. Okay? You could create a hell paradigm for yourself. You could create a heaven-like paradigm. You could create whatever life you want. You're gonna be around forever. And the beauty part about it is that you can shift any place you want in life. There's really nothing, there's no outside of you. There's nothing outside of you that's holding you captive. See, when you see things through the third eye, and you're gonna realize quickly, very quickly, that really nothing can hold you down. The only one that's holding you down is you. That's it. You are basically, you're the host of your own life. You can shift wherever you want to shift. But no other human being or no other being, no matter where, has any powers over you. Okay? I don't care what title they're under. You're the one could shift whatever part of life you want. And that's the thing about what I'm seeing through the third eye, what it helped me reconnect. Okay? And yes, a lot of things that I did see through my ayahuasca experience, yes, it did reminisce to my other life experience before Earth. Yeah, it did. It did. And it's just amazing. I do envision the entire world taking ayahuasca. Oh yeah, I do. I'd rather see a healing center or a place. It doesn't have to be a centralized place. It could be at your own home. But I'd rather replace these drug rehab places and these churches all these churches to these healing centers, the places that you get to sit there and meditate, okay, without feeling like you're being condemned or having somebody to give you lectures and about blah blah. No, you go in there, okay, it doesn't have to be a centralized place, but you know, you could go there to maybe meet with other people, or it could be whatever, it could be outside, it doesn't have to be a building, okay, it could be anywhere. And if you want to experience with somebody else, that's great, but if you want to do it by yourself, that's great. But I'd rather see everybody doing that than shifting out of this whole thing with this drug rehab places, these churches, going to see a therapist, psychiatrist. Now look, anybody that decides to go to these places, look, I'm not looking down on you. It's your choice, you know, your freedom. I'm just expressing to you about my feeling on it, about the benefits, okay? Okay. No, I have never used any drugs that messes me up. I have never used that. But again, I've been through drug rehab places. I know what it looks like. Yes, I used to go to a church, so I know. I could just give you an idea. I know what some of these things are, what they do, or what they come with. But for some of you guys listen to this, saying that the things that you go to, which is churches or rehab, you feel like it helped you, okay, that's fine. Well, I'm telling you this right now, it's up to you. Whatever you do, it's up to you. Okay, I will inspire everybody to open up or to explore something. Because again, when I see things with my third eye, I'm able to see past a lot of, let's just put it this way, I'm able to see past a lot of problems that we hold up. A lot of us, we hold up and we thinking that it's never going to end. You thinking that there's going to be, the world's going to end. You need some savior to come and save you. I'm like, I'm able to see past all of those things. You feel like the world is doomed, right? You feel like there's chaos in your life. I'm able to see past all those things. And you think that I'm better than you? I'm not better than you. I made a decision, a simple decision, to align myself, to open up. Yes, I reconnected to who I am. But besides me being a reincarnated multi-dimensional being, just forget that for a moment. The thing is, I made a decision. I could decide to be closed-minded. I could decide, let's say, for example, to watch the news or focus on something that's not going to really do anything for me. You see, when I watched the news, it didn't define who I was. It's just an idea. When I watch the news every day, or I watch these programs, these TV programs, didn't define who I am, because I know, because besides that, these TV programs and the news can never define who I am. I'm just basically going through an experience. The same goes for everybody. You watch TV, you spend all day, whatever you do, okay? But aside of all those things, you're much more than that. That's all I'm saying. You're much more than the news or these other reality shows, whatever. Just giving examples to everybody. So, okay, I touched a great deal. I know I was talking a lot about the ayahuasca. I was talking a little bit more about just life, a lot more about life because of the third eye. I'm going to touch on this other thing about the third eye. Now, the life after life. A lot of you, let's say, you call it life after death, okay? But I call it life after life because there is no death, okay? You heard the story? Somebody that came back, right? We all thought the person was gone, but the person came back, and they talk about stories about how they saw different beings and they saw this tunnel and all that stuff, right? You heard these stories? You see everybody? See the people that talk about that they see this tunnel? Like first they go through an out-of-body experience, okay? They see themselves, okay? They see the doctors saying that, oh, well, she's dead, oh, he's dead, right? You see all that, right? That's what the person's saying. That's what the person saying for what they saw from the out-of-body experience. You have an awareness. You can hear and see, for example, right? But you're floating up. You see in your body. And then you see another being. You know that being is not in that dimension. Some of you might say it's an angel. So a great deal of you will say it's an angel. And it will stand there. It will comfort you, right? Most cases I've heard people say the same similar thing, right? It will tell you certain things, that being. Whatever that spiritual being is, it's just going to talk to you. But it's there. But everybody else in that room now, again, obviously, they don't see this being. But you see it. Then the next moment, you see a tunnel opens up. Somewhere in the room. Could be above you, whatever, right? It could be outside, wherever. But it opens up. And then you get drawn into that tunnel, right? That tunnel. Most people, I've heard most cases that people talk about that tunnel is like black. It's like black and there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? Right? You see, I'm gonna go back and I gave you an example, okay, of a story, different stories, right? I just gave you an example about someone having an out-of-body experience. Now, I want to say this now, and I'm not sure if anybody heard this before. You see, your third eye is responsible for that. It's like a step. You see, when you, let's just say you have an out-of-body experience and you come back, right? And for those that don't come back, right? You will leave your body, your spirit, okay? Your spirit will leave your body through the third eye. So that pineal gland, okay, will leave the body. You will leave your body through that. Seriously. I've heard cases, now whether you can agree or not, I've heard cases that DMT, when somebody, let's say passes on, someone passed on, your body produces 10 times more DMT than ever before. All in that area. I think I've heard something that the doctors don't understand why, but yeah, your brain will produce more DMT than ever when you're just about to go. So you leave, and I heard also this cracking sound. You hear like a cracking sound. It's like I don't know, maybe it sounds like an egg crack. I don't know, but I'm telling you from what I learned. So you hear that cracking sound. You leave, your spirit will leave through the third eye, and that's when you start to see yourself having an out-of-body experience. Okay, all right. So yeah, everything starts from the third eye on that. I mean, ain't that cool? I mean, it's amazing. It is simply amazing how life is, you know. And I wanted to touch a little bit about that tunnel. Okay, I know it's slightly off the topic, but the tunnel. You see, the tunnel, when it's black, let's say for example, you see that part of the tunnel is the void. It's like the void is like a bridge. Let's just describe. I'm just going to describe it as a bridge. Okay, you go into the bridge and you're just like you're just a spirit, or you just nothing. You're just going in there as nothing. Like it's kind of hard to describe, but it's like a bridge, and when you get past that, you enter in a different spiritual plane. Okay, that is my take on what that tunnel is. Okay, it doesn't last long. You go through it quick, but the tunnel is the void. And another thing too, my take on the void to me is like a clay. It's like a big glob of clay. It has no identity, it has no shape. So you go into the void, okay? You go in and you come back out as to something else. You could be formless, you could come back, your spirit will go into another body, wherever you decide to go. But yeah, it's just the void is like there's no light, there's no time, there's no identity, there's nothing. It's just a blank. That's it. But that's part of consciousness. So it's amazing, you know, as I'm breaking this down to you and this everything, the third eye, I'm thinking more about it. It's like, wow, it's amazing. It makes, it makes everything that we focus on, all the petty problems around the world, that things seem big, the problems around our world and your personal life seem so big, but the thing that I just expressed is like, it makes all your problems small. I don't care what you go through in life. It makes all your problems so tiny. Yeah, it does. Because you see, life is bigger than that. Life is bigger than you lost your job, okay? Life is bigger than your girlfriend, your wife left you, or your husband left you, or your boyfriend left you. Life is more bigger than, you hit somebody got killed. Nobody dies, but but you have an accident. Somebody, whatever, someone passed on right in front of you. Life is bigger than that. Because one, again, I just said, nobody doesn't die. You got to continue living, okay? Life is bigger than that. Life is bigger than that ego. Is that egotistic mind of yours? Life is bigger than that. But even that, you see, your ego mind is part of consciousness too. But even though your ego mind focuses on the physical plane, all I'm just telling you, everybody, life is bigger. Life is a lot bigger. It's not black and white, nor nothing is set. Everything is changeable. So it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm able to see past a lot of structures. So I really believe, I'm going to rephrase it. I know that everyone has a DMT experience, okay? Yes, you do produce it every day, okay? I do think that the plant gives a boost. It does. I mean, you don't have to take the ayahuasca, you could meditate, you could focus and have a dream experience, whatever dream experience you have. You can't control your dreams. You can. It is all about focus. I realize when you have a dream and you are aware of it, you're at a point that you are aware that the dream is not controlling you. I mean, dreams don't control you. But when you're at a point of awareness and you change the thought within you in that dream, you could literally change the dream just like that. Let's say, for example, you won $3 million, okay? You won $3 million. And, that's what the dream is. You won $3 million. And you're saying to yourself, you know what? I don't believe this is true. Or you have some form of doubt. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for you to change a dream just like that. It'll just change. Boom. It does. That's just how it is. And I'm saying this because I've experienced that I'm able to change my dreams or somewhat. Not all the time though, but it takes a level of focus. We're capable of doing a lot of great things if all you have to do is take out certain belief systems you have about yourself and control your ego. You're able to do a lot of great things. I'm telling you, I'm not recording this just for talking BS. I'm just being honest. We're capable of doing a lot of great things. So I think I cover a great deal about the third eye on the the ayahuasca end and the life after life part. So yeah. Life is infinite. Now I'm keep repeating myself on that, but it's true. It's true. There's a before I close out, I want to say this. You see, this planet, for example, it has multi-dimensions. It does. You're not able to see it with your two eyes, but when let's just say you reactivate or activate your third eye and you meditate hard, you can literally see things. You can see things that you're not able to see with your two eyes. You could literally shift into a different version of a life that you at now. Right now, you can. You're probably laughing about it maybe. I don't know, whatever. But all I'm saying is that you could literally shift. You could let go, whatever you go through, whatever feelings you have, whatever your life is at, wherever you at in life. you can shift into a different version of yourself. So a lot of these things, a lot of us are capable of. You know, a lot of us heard about the Buddhists, people that practice Buddha, and how they meditate, how they're able to. Their whole thing about is letting go. Similar things that what I know and what I believe. See, you could do the same thing. I'm not saying to sign up to observe this practice, being a Buddha, but there's some things about the Buddha practice I have respect for. I have respect for them, for the idea of shifting, meditating, focus. Yeah, I do. But I'm using Buddha for example. Okay, so I'm not saying, I'm not Buddha. I'm not a Buddhist. I'm just using it as an example. Okay, some things they do are very similar to what I do, even in life before Earth. Okay. Yeah, you could shift. You could create things from within. I mean, seriously. I mean, you do it every day in your life. You want to know why you attract problems. Why you have problems in your life? Because you attract it. You have a force. There's a force in you. That's you. You create. You attract things. But you could do the opposite. You could shift into different places. So I'm going to create some different clips about the mind. And matter of fact, I'm going to create a clip about the news, watching the news and other TV program, which I know a lot of people talk about this, but I'm going to create this and clip about that. But a lot of stuff around our life are suggested ideas. Okay, everything, even the thing I talk about is suggested ideas. You don't have to take on it. You could live whatever life you want to live. So I hope everything I share, I truly believe that you are inspired for what I have to say, and you at least will do the research about ayahuasca and take the DMT experience. Again, it's a natural substance. Okay, it's an anti-drug, so you would never ever get addicted to it. Okay, I created a clip on ayahuasca, the Yellow Brick Road of Ayahuasca. That's what it's called. So please check it out. I am glad I did this clip on a third eye. I'm excited, and it's an honor. It's just an honor for me to share this to everybody that's willing to be open, that's willing to not be afraid, to say that you are fearless. Your life, people. You're simply life. There's nothing outside of you have any powers over you. No human being, nobody has any powers over you. Okay, so you create the life whatever way you choose. So I just want to leave it like that. Okay, everybody, until then, I will be back with another interesting topic. Take care.